Hey everybody, John Peterson from John Peterson Photo. I wanted to talk a little bit today about a camera I've had for a couple of months now. For those that might have seen the earlier video, you might know that I purchased a used GFX50S from Fujifilm. I've been a long-time Fuji shooter, XT1, XT2, XT3, absolutely love those cameras, and Fuji has really reinvigorated my photography, which has been great. You know, but I wanted to try medium format. I wanted to see what a camera like this could do for my photography, for my creativity, for my artistry. Plus, it's just a damn cool camera and I wanted to try it out. So, you know, leading up to the launch of the 50R, I saw the 50S prices starting to drop, and I ended up finding a really great deal on a body that just had just 1,000 or 1,500 clicks on it. I got the 32 to 64 lens, and I also got the 120 macro, which is a beautiful, beautiful lens. You know, my impressions at the time when I got it, absolutely fantastic build quality. It felt like a Fuji. All the dials were there. It had a top mounted LCD, which I love. I've shot the XH1 and really enjoyed this top mounted display. So in the last couple of months, I've had a chance to go out and use this in the field, and you know, I'm primarily a landscape and nature photographer. I do occasionally do some wildlife, and I know this camera is really not for wildlife, so I've been putting it through its paces in the landscape and nature realm, as well as doing I led a workshop with Jack Graham on up in Whidbey Island on shooting Americana, so more city stuff, introspective, monochrome, that kind of thing. And so I wanted to do a little short video talking about my impressions so far and showing you a few examples from the shoots that I've been on. Let me tell you, I absolutely love this camera. I have no regrets about spending this kind of money for this camera. You know, I love my XT3 and I shoot with it often, but shooting with this, I find that I slow down. It's a more contemplative camera. It's like shooting film where you really have to pay attention to your compositions. You don't want to burn through a lot of frames. This camera for some reason just causes me to slow down. I shoot it always on a tripod. I don't shoot handheld with this, partly because of the weight and partly because I want to achieve the fullest of its resolving capabilities. So I use a tripod all the time with this, and that really causes me to slow down, think about what I'm shooting, think about my compositions. The image quality coming out of this is absolutely phenomenal. It is, of course, better than the XT3. It's a smaller size, medium format sensor, you know, and Fuji calls it a medium format. It's larger than a full frame, but it's not as large as a full-sized medium format sensor. Excuse me. So it's still classified as a medium format, about 50 megapixels, and I can't tell you how impressive the image quality is coming out of this camera, both in RAW and in JPEG. You know, for the longest time I've been a RAW shooter and really haven't had anything to do with JPEGs. Moving into the XT3 and especially moving into the GFX, OMG, the JPEGs are phenomenal. I've been using more JPEGs straight out of the camera. God bless Fuji for all that they've done. I've been using more of those out of the camera than I have RAW files, and I've been so impressed with the quality of this stuff. One of the reasons why I think the image quality is so good is that there's a lot of, they're not trying to cram 50 megapixels on a teeny tiny sensor. They have a lot of room to breathe. Each pixel, each photo sensor has a lot of room to breathe, and so the quality of the pixels, not just the number of pixels, but the quality of pixels is so far above and beyond what's in full frame and what's in APS-C size sensors. Absolutely, absolutely love this camera. Do not regret it one bit. So ergonomics very much like a Fuji. It's a little bit larger, it's a little bit heavier, has a little bit larger grip here for my hand, so I've got a little bit larger hand. It fits me extremely well when I'm composing using this. Great viewfinder, great tiltable LCD screen back here, three-way. Everything else about it has been great. You know, I've predominantly been shooting with the 32 to 64 about 60-70% of the time. The rest of the time I've been putting the 120 on there when I want a little bit more reach or I'm doing some close-up work. I have no regrets about buying this camera. I knew that the 50R was coming out. I knew it was planned. I knew it was coming out when I decided to make the purchase for the S. And the reason I did that is I like this body style better. The R and the S have basically the same specs, just a different form factor of a camera body. Never been really a rangefinder guy. I'd like to have the viewfinder along the optical center of the camera instead of set off to the side. And so that's why I made the choice to go with the S instead of the R. Let me take a pause real quick and show you a few images that I've pulled out of this camera. I'll run a little bit of a slideshow for you, let you take a look. Granted, these are compressed for YouTube for the video, but just trust me, the image quality is phenomenal. And if you don't make it to the end of the video, check out my website, johnpetersonphoto.com. Stay tuned to this channel for more videos, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Alright, so if you've made it through to the end of the slideshow, thank you very much for looking at some of those images. Again, I can't tell you how impressive this camera is straight out of the camera running JPEGs. The raw files, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful raw files as well coming out of this. Granted, they're larger size, but I tell you, the Mac behind me, it has had zero problems or challenges processing the larger file. Again, also with my MacBook Pro, run tons of raw files through the MacBook Pro. Even though they're larger, it's not causing a crimp to my workflow. Huge extended dynamic range with this compared to the X-T2 and X-T3. So I'm able to pull more out of the shadows. I'm able to work more with the highlights. I've got a lot more information to work with in post-processing to make the images what I want them to be. So I can't say enough wonderful things about this step up to medium format. I'm not going to stop shooting my APS-C, my X-T3s at all, but when I really want to create some fine images, when I'm shooting for myself, I pull out the GFX. Phenomenal camera. So thanks for watching, and again, check out my website, johnpetersonphoto.com, and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.